What's up everybody, Mr. OG Games here, and before I start the video today, I want to share two comments from a previous video that helped me make this video. Two Tone GT writes, can you make a video on the best way attacking solo? My castle is at 24, almost 25, and getting closer to T9 troops. What are some good strategies, gears, and artifacts that you used, or maybe knowledge that you know now that you wished you knew then? Great question, brother. Great question. And then a response to that from EJ, based on 3 years of playing, mages are still by far the best killing troops for newer and baby realms. However, the realm gets old, archers are by far superior mage killers, so shift from mages after 2 years. And I agree with you 100%. And now on to how to prep and plan for doing some solo attacks. I will say, over the years as I've played War and Order, there's no real right or wrong answer that I've heard from anybody in regards to the best way that they think things should be done, because everyone's play style is different. So if you're doing something out there different than what I'm saying here in this video, and it's working for you, go for it. It's all about what works for you and your city setup, castle setup, your technology, your alliance technology, the equipment that you have, your march setup. There's a lot of things that are different for every single player, and that's why it's difficult to put there is no one right way. So what I'm going to share with you guys today is what I feel would be your best foot forward into feeling more confident when you're doing some solo attacking. So number one is to keep up on the research. You got to go to the college. You got to keep your college at the highest level that you can, so you can go into military, guardian force, city defense for that matter. But for the attacking, your primary is your military, and you want to make sure that you have everything that you can possibly get leveled up, so that way you get the maximum amount of buffs for these specific troop types. That plays a key factor. Now, being that most of us keep our research up anyway as best we can, I know it can get costly in resources as you get up there, but a couple things that stand out to me most, and this is because when I started playing there were no emblems and there were no artifacts. So my biggest things were my equipment. My equipment is what kept me with that little bit more buff. So for instance, right now all my equipment is towards archers, and archers. I do have a couple pieces that are designed to go with mages, but most of the time all my stuff that I keep on me, especially when attacking, is dedicated to archers. Now, to go through all the different equipment that you can get as you're ranking up in the blacksmith, that would be a video just in itself. But you want to, when you're in, to go back to the comment that I read to you earlier, it was pretty much spot on. When you're new in the realm, the mages give you the best attack, and 9 times out of 10. Now, I mean, it depends on what you're going up against, but if you're going solo against somebody, you know you don't want to scout them, because you're obviously going to say, hey, I'm checking out what you have, I'm going to come attack you, and then of course they're going to shield. So a lot of the solo attacks, you're just going blind, and you have to really look at, you know, castle size, their BP, kind of guesstimate what they may or may not have. And of course, remembering previous experiences with that player, or hearsay, or looking at battle reports. There's a lot involved with it. But having the right equipment to match the troop types you have. And in the younger realms, mages just seem to be the better way to go. As the realm matures, yes, archers are by far, in my opinion, this is my opinion, the best way to go. Because the archers not only, for instance, the even level archers not only give you, I believe it's a bonus damage against infantry, like I want to say 30%, but your odd level archers give you a bonus damage against mages, and I want to say that's 25%. So honestly, if you started out with archers early, you're going to be, you're going to be ahead of the game, in my opinion. But the mages are good not only for attacking, but they can also provide defense as well. And I don't know if a lot of people know that, but if you look through your barracks and your troop setups, they can offer a lot of that. So research number one, once you get into an alliance, if you look into your alliance tech, go to war, you can see what your alliance is also better at. Now, when you're first starting out, obviously your levels are much lower than what you're seeing here, but you can also benefit yourself by using what your alliance has. Now, granted, if you've not been in an alliance very long, and you might not be there for very long, so I wouldn't necessarily plan your whole march around your alliance unless you're in there and you know you're not going anywhere. Nowadays you have obsidian steel that can also help with your equipment. You can use that to try to get certain advantages, and then you can build off of those advantages. I did put a video previous to that, specifically on the obsidian steel. And then of course you've got your emblems, which back in my day there were no emblems. Now you have emblems. Emblems, always keep them at the highest level because they're going to bring buffs everywhere from, as you can see, infantry attack, stamina, you got your cavalry attack, army size, march speed. So I mean, each one of these emblems will bring you a bonus feature to your march as well. A big thing you can do too, save up on your buffs, go to war. I'll take that speed up. But make sure you have buffs for the attack, for HP, for army size expansion. These are things that will also help you out. Speed ups as well. There's nothing like when you're solo and somebody's 4 minutes away, you just taking that whole 4 minutes, because man, you're giving them 4 minutes to do whatever the hell they got to do. In a solo attack, and you're going by yourself, and you know you are, and you don't have SOS yet, it's best to take them by surprise and speed right to the target. You don't necessarily have to port beside them, but certainly speed to them. That's going to make or break you, because you're just giving them the less time you give them to prepare, the better. And your first hit is always going to be your money hit. Unless they're offline, then you're going to have a field day with them. One other thing, Lord skills. No, not that. Sorry. Your Lord skills. I've got all mine on war right now. Every single last one of them. If you are primarily in the building phase, the development is so much better to have, because you're going to get just that more of everything on the development side. Speed, production, you name it. But when you're going to strike and hit somebody and you've got development skills on, well, you're going to be a lot less likely to be as effective as you need to be. Another thing that didn't happen until later in my gameplay also was the beast. Now, I've done a full video on the beast as well, but the beast, all kinds of buffs you can give the beast. all kinds of attributes that you can use skill wise in order to increase your army HP. The beast is a must. Train your beast, get your beast up. The hospital capacity for people that are using SOS, make sure your hospital capacity is the size or greater of your march. Trust me. If not, yes, you don't lose troops, but if your capacity is not equivalent to your march, and just say you lose all your march, well, you're going to start losing troops. I'll go over that in a future video as well as far as SOS is concerned. One of the most easiest things that you can do is keep VIP activated. VIP is going to give you, if we look down here, defense bonus, attack bonus, raise your wounded limit. That's going to help with that capacity. March speed. So those are things that can come in handy when attacking somebody, especially by yourself as well. And then of course, the newer thing out, and this started relatively 5-6 months ago, I believe, would be to alter and your artifacts. Excalibur is one of the easier ones to get because you get these fragments when you do the monster swarm. But as far as focusing your artifacts, and I'm not talking about the ones you just get sheer luck on. I mean, there's some that are going to be a lot more easier to obtain. But you want to try to push and get as many artifacts of the ones you need by when you're conjuring. You can go to the shop, you can spend what, like right now, this. Boom, I need that. Leaves me with 18. See, I needed that because I want that at level 2. But once again, I did a whole video on artifacts as well. That'll help you with that. But the artifacts nowadays can really help with your attack. And also the obsidian steel can be used in some very brutal ways if you get a good combination of things to pair with your equipment. That can help you as well. If you stay on top of your game, other players, if they slack just a little bit, you can really have the upper hand quite easily by using just a couple of those things there that they may be slack on a little bit. The biggest thing that you can do is your marching setups. Having the right march setup is crucial, and I mean crucial, to your attack. If you don't have it set up properly to benefit you with the emblems, the lore skills that you have, the research that you've done, your artifacts, equipment, it won't mean shit. You can have the most of something, but if you're sending the opposite thing to attack, like say if I'm geared for archers. Say if I send a fourth of the archers opposed to, 3/4 full of mages, well, that's not helping me at all. So have the right march setup. Now, I've played in realms where they recommended your march to have 40% infantry. I've played in some that say 20% infantry. I've played both ways, and honestly, depending on your march size, it can go either way. They can both be beneficial. Obviously, the more infantry you have, the longer it takes for the enemy to break down the infantry, giving your backstage, I guess you could say, troops, your archers and your mages, that much more time to do damage. But if you don't have a lot of them, then they're not going to be able to do the damage. So you want to find the fine line between having the right amount of infantry and your specialty troop that you're geared toward. That way you can best fit it out. So 20% to 40%. I know that's a big difference. Right now I've been trying a lot on 20%. It seems to do me pretty well. There are some occasions that I have in these Army setups that I will do 40%. And depending on one, who the enemy is, two, what event it is, there's a lot of different things. So you want to have your march set up geared towards that, and you want your infantry to be at 20 to 40%. Now, attacking infantry, even tiered infantry, will give you a 25% reduction damage from mages. Your odd tiered infantry will give you a 15% HP when on the defending side. So, even tiered infantry for attacks, odd tier infantry for defending. But honestly, even tiered infantry for defending does well too. If the person bringing it to you has mages, you're just going to rip them. Now, once you've got your infantry set in place, I always do one cavalry of your highest tier, and then your second highest tier. Say if you're playing with 8s and 7s, I'd do one unit T8 cavalry, and then one infantry T7, one cavalry T7, one archer T7, and one mage T7. Okay, and then bring all the rest of your troops for your T8 archer and mages, or your highest tier troop, and then stagger them based upon all of the buffs that you have and what you're geared towards too. So say if you have let's use a scenario. Say if you have 100,000 troop march, we'll use the 20% infantry. So that gives us 20,000. We'll just use T8s as your highest tier. 20,000 T8s. We'll do one T8 cavalry. And then of course one of each of your T7 troops. So your infantry, archers, mages, and cavalry, just one. And then I would split the rest up. That'll give you roughly, we'll just make it even, 80,000. Say you're geared toward archers, I would do maybe 65,000 archers and 15,000 mages. That's what I would do, and that's how I use it. Why send the one troop of the different levels? Well, that's going to spread out the battlefield, and it's going to take the opponent, when you're attacking them, they're going to attack all across the board versus just hitting one target from the beginning. One troop, it's not a lot, but that's one shot that they put on them versus at what you're coming for, whether it be archers or mages in your infantry. So it balances it out. Yes, it'll give you 1 to 3 seconds more time, but sometimes that's all it takes to edge out an opponent. I have in previous videos did some pretty extensive march setup videos. I will be, once I can get my barracks up to T11s, I'm going to be doing a lot more kind of march setups, how to use T11s. I've got a lot of information to share, but I don't want to share it until I can actually show you. So I hope this is giving you a lot of the information that you need out there to do a solo attack. One other note that I want to make on a solo attack, and that's angels. Angels are strong, very, very, very strong, and you want your angel level to be equivalent to your highest tier troop. Okay, that means a lot, because when you're marching into battle, you're going to have your infantry, you're going to have your angels directly behind the infantry, as long as they're on the same tier. And then you're going to have your archers or your mages, whoever has the most troop count, directly behind your angels, as long as they're all in the same tier. They will line up and that gives you your back row even that much more time to take care of business. Now, when you attack with angels, you will lose angels, and as you know, angels are hard to come by. I personally, when attacking another player, will not use angels unless I know I have an upper hand and I'm not going to lose many angels at all. That's the only time. If not, angels are used for elite wars, invasions, things where you do not lose them permanently. They're very hard to come by, but when it comes to elite wars, invasions, savage lands, they are a tremendous help. They are the beast of the battlefield, and they will tear up an enemy if you have a large enough number of them. But other than that, that's pretty much how I look at solo attacks, things that I did coming up, how I planned my march for a solo attack. I hope that helps everybody out there that's looking into some information on what can help them get the edge. I hope it's been helpful to you guys. And of course, as always, if you guys like the video, smash the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, y'all keep gaming, and I'll see you in the next one.